Let's go for young Brit female. And then I'm going to scroll down. That's the first part. And then we're going to go create a super PA. And the important thing to note is that it has support for MCP. You may be wondering what MCP is. So what I've done is I've asked AI to explain it to a layperson. And this, if I scroll in here, we've got one explanation here. So you've got a person, a method actor. Before every role, you get a backstory. You get the setting, character traits. So, for example, if you're playing Sherlock Holmes, you think like a detective, you act sharp, you never miss details. If you're Santa Claus, you laugh more and care about toys and children. So in the context of, say, for example, we have, in our case, 11AI, we could have Claude Desktop, is also an MCP client. Then we have here, basically, Claude Desktop talks to Google Calendar. And before each message, Claude understands who it's helping and what's relevant to it. Claude Desktop understands the sort of information that's required for Google Calendar, and it can pass that information in the right way. So that's a sort of layperson's explanation of MCP server. But let's try and put it to use in 11AI. We are going to add my first integration. This is the first time I've used this, so we will do it together. Model context protocol server terms. By enabling MCP server integrations, you acknowledge that doing so may involve the sharing of data with third-party services and could introduce additional security considerations. By checking this force, I confirm I've understood. So you could give it access to all sort of information, give it access to your Gmail, give it access to your calendar, and just bear in mind that it can increase your security output on this. Right, we've got some integrations here. We can go to Google Calendar. That sounds like a good one to add. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to my account. Let's see how easy this is. View your calendar events and details. And we're going to go continue with Google. Unexpected error occurred, as mentioned. This is experimental, so expect some things to go wrong. This will summarize the top stories on Hacker News. Looks like it's been bought by Yahoo, possibly. Let's go to connect to account. Integration has been added successfully, so that was more successful. Should we try the Google Calendar again? There we go. You can revoke at any time using Google account settings. Just checking I'm in this account. AI consultant, we're going to try it again. That's failed again, so we're going to skip on for now. And then let's scroll down and see what else we've got. Let's connect it to my Notion, and it's my Notion account. And integration is successfully added. What about if I want to add more? I need to probably go to settings, and agent language is English, custom behavior. We can put some information here. Let's say you are to be helpful and friendly, and you can add some puns and funny asides. If I ask you to simplify something, then that means I would like you to use stories and or metaphors to make it simpler for me to grasp. In the same way as okay, for the MCP, we have the method actor. That could be an easy way. I'm going to go integrations, go scroll down and see what else we can add. You can also add custom MCP servers. I won't do that today. We'll just use the default ones with here. We're going to go for Perplexity, and that looks like it's clicking on it, but it hasn't added it yet. Slack, Element Stripe, Google Calendar, as we saw, we had some problems with. So let's add these free. And here, I might have to click on something. Let's go Perplexity, tool approval mode. You can say always ask, or you can have find details. Right, connect. Integration to agent is successful. Let's test it. It seems like that's been added. It's in green. So what we've got Hacker News, we've got Notion, we've got Perplexity, and that sounds like a good start. And we've got our voice connected. We're going to start a call. We're going to go allow while visiting the site.
Hi there, Super PA here. I'm ready to jump in whenever you are. What would you like to explore?
Oh, hi there. Just wondering if you could give me an overview of the day one of the selling event by Russell Brunson. You can find it in my Notion.
Thanks for confirming. My apologies, it seems I needed your explicit go-ahead for that search. I'm running that Notion search again for day one of the Stanley event by Russell Brunson right now. It'll just be a moment.
It's the selling event, not the Stanley event.
Got it. My apologies for misunderstanding. Thanks for clarifying. I'll search your Notion pages again, this time for day one of the selling event by Russell Brunson. Let's see what we can find. I found some information on day one of Russell Brunson's selling event in your Notion pages. Day 1 covered being a go-getter and a go-giver, modeling success, and subconscious selling secrets. And yes, lots about video content and how to use it effectively.
What was covered about subconscious selling?
Great question. The subconscious selling secrets session on day 1 really delved into how to connect with people on a deeper level. It highlighted that the subconscious mind responds to stories, so you need to emotionally connect with your audience to help them have their own epiphany. The idea is to identify and address their false beliefs, I can't afford it, by telling stories that help them shift their mindset from, why can't I afford that, to how can I afford that? It's all about weaving these insights into your sales pitch to anchor them.
Thanks. Let's search Perplexity for subconscious selling ideas. And could you base it around the teaching on thinking fast and thinking slow by Daniel Kahneman? You could also integrate some elements of chimp paradox. Just give me an overview of that, please.
All right, that sounds like a fascinating dive. I'll go ahead and search Perplexity for subconscious selling ideas, specifically looking for how they tie into Daniel Kahneman's thinking fast and slow and Tim Paradox's concepts. Just a heads up, this might take a few seconds as I'm searching the web for this information. I'll give you an overview once I have the results. All right, I've got some interesting insights for you on subconscious selling, drawing from Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow and incorporating elements related to strategic decision-making, which I'm aligning with the Tim Paradox concept you mentioned. Essentially, it's all about leveraging how our brains naturally make quick decisions. We often use fast thinking, or System 1, which is intuitive and emotional. Subconscious selling taps into this by using things like visual cues, emotional connections through storytelling, and social proof to make purchasing feel effortless. It also highlights the power of anchoring bias, where a higher initial price makes a subsequent lower price seem more appealing, and loss aversion, which plays on our fear of missing out. For the Tim paradox, or strategic decision-making under uncertainty.
Paradox, not Tim Paradox.
My apologies. Thanks for clarifying. I'll go ahead and redo that search on Perplexity for subconscious selling ideas, specifically looking at how they relate to Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow and Steve Peters' Chimp Paradox. I'll get that overview for you right away. No worries at all. I've got it now. My apologies for the mix-up there. Diving into subconscious selling with Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow and Steve Peters' Chimp Paradox is super interesting. Kahneman talks about two systems. System 1, which is our fast, emotional, and intuitive thinking, and System 2, our slower, more logical side. For subconscious selling, you're often aiming for System 1 with emotional appeals and quick decisions, while System 2 is engaged when you provide logical, detailed information. Now, Steve Peters' Chimp Paradox breaks down the mind into the chimp, emotional and impulsive, the human, logical and rational, and the computer, our beliefs and values. When selling, you can appeal to the chimp with instant gratification and emotional triggers, the human with solid facts, and the computer by aligning your product with a customer's core values. It's about understanding these different parts of our decision-making process to connect more effectively.
Thanks. Can you write that up into a markdown file for me?
Certainly. I can definitely put that together for you in a Notion page. I'll create a new page titled Subconscious Selling, Insights from Kahneman and Peters, and summarize everything we just discussed. Just a moment while I get that created for you. All right, I've created that Notion page for you. It's titled Subconscious Selling, Insights from Kahneman and Peters, and summarizes everything we just discussed.
I'm just going to try and search for it. Bear with me a second.
No problem at all. Take your time. I'll be right here when you're ready.
I found it. So I've got the overview in there. Thanks for creating that for me. Let's change pace a little bit. Let's take a look at Hacker News. And could you give me the top AI stories for today, please?
You got it. Glad the Notion page was helpful. Switching gears to Hacker News, I can certainly fetch the top stories for you. However, the tool I'm using can't specifically filter for AI stories directly. I can get the overall top stories, and then we can look through those for AI-related topics if you'd like.
Okay,
How does that sound? All right, let's do it. I'm getting the top stories from Hacker News for you now. This might take just a moment. I've got the top stories from Hacker News for you. While I can't filter specifically for AI stories, I did find one that seems quite relevant. A GPU calculator that helps calculate what GPU to use. Given that GPUs are so central to AI, that one definitely caught my eye. The other top stories are more general tech and science news. Scientists may have found a way to eliminate chromosome linked to Down syndrome and Graphene OS, a security-enhanced Android build.
Tell me more about Graphene OS. I'd already seen the article about Down syndrome, which is also interesting, but let's look at Graphene OS.
All right, let's dive into Graphene OS. I'll fetch the details for that story from Hacker News for you. Just a moment while I retrieve the information. My apologies, It looks like I hit a snag trying to fetch the details for the Graphene OS article directly from that URL. The tool I'm using can't fetch details for web page type URLs, only for Notion pages or databases. So while I can't give you the full article content here, I can tell you that the Hacker News title describes...
Don't worry, you can find it on Perplexity. So just go to Perplexity and give me an overview of Graphene OS from Perplexity instead.
You got it. My apologies for the earlier hiccup. I'll head over to Perplexity now and get you a good overview of Graphene OS. This might take a few seconds while I search. I've got a great overview of Graphene OS for you from Perplexity. It's a mobile operating system built on Android that's super focused on privacy and security. It offers a ton of enhancements like hardened memory and improved app sandboxing, and it even lets you install a sandbox version of Google Play services for more control. It's primarily designed for Google Pixel devices and aims to give users significant control over their data without sacrificing the overall user experience too much.
Thank you. Let's call it a day for now. I'm just recording a video and just giving an overview of 11 AI, and I'll probably come back and add some more advanced tools and integrations with NA10 or Make or Zapier.
Sounds like a solid plan. It's been a pleasure assisting you today, and I'm always here to help whenever you're ready to dive into those more advanced integrations with NA10, Make, or Zapier. Just let me know when you're good to go.
You saw there that it went to Notion, it pulled data from my Notion, and some listening problems at times, but also went out Perplexity. The Hacker News isn't that useful. It just pulls the top news, but you could create a MCP integration that has more different tools within a specific tool. You saw, for example, Notion. It went to search. That's one of its tools, and then it also went and created. So that's another tool that's available. So in the same way, you have each of the tools has different sub tools available to it, and you saw that each time it asks for approval. If you want to turn that off, you'd come over to here, and I think you'd probably go to, say, for Perplexity, you can then go to fine-grained tool approval, disable and preset tools, which can run automatically, or you can just say no approval needed. It just goes off. You want to be careful. You don't want it to go. You might have heard that someone had their Lovable, all of their code base was deleted by something. So you want to make sure, especially if you have access to file system, Google Drive, Notion, and has access to delete as a tool, then I'll just be careful and give it tool approval. So for example, you might want to allow it to do a search in your Notion, but you don't want it to create new documents without asking, because just if it goes out of control, and especially things like deletion. So I put on there fine-grained tool approval. Tools, so search the web. Okay, I'm going to say search the web is fine. Tool can be used without manual approval. And then if I come back into the connections, so for Notion, I'm just set the same fine-grained approval. Then I come across to tools and search. I find with search being done without approval. Fetch, retrieve details about, also fine with that being given. Create pages, I think I will probably manual approval on that. So I'm just going to say this one is manual approval for each use. And then pages, again, manual approval. Move pages about. Might ask for help to get my Notion in a bit better order, moving things around, but obviously you have to be careful about that as well. Duplicate pages, that's fine. Create a new database. So yeah, certain ones I want to approve, and searching I'm fine with that, just adding a comment to a page. I'm probably okay with that being without any approval needed. Get all the comments on a page. I don't use that much. So list all users, I don't really need that. Your tokens bot user, retriever user. So that's that one there. And then, as you saw, I think there's only one tool in Hacker News. If we go to tools, so we can get top stories. We can get stories. So it should have been able to get the story details. So it looks like it had a little bit of problem there. Should have been able to find that one about graphene and then find that specific story, get story details. So overall, pretty good. The voice was good, and it misunderstood me a few times, but just make sure you can correct it and correct it fairly soon. And that's just a quick overview. So hopefully you enjoyed that.